Okay, so I'm Danielle. I'm from physical therapy, and I'm going to show you guys how to set up a CPM on a patient. So they won't be in this kind of bed. All right, you can stop looking at me now. They won't be in this kind of bed. They're going to be in a regular hospital bed. So when you come in to put them on the patient on the CPM, you're going to have a helper putting the patient, lifting the patient's leg. So one person's going to lift the leg and the other person's going to, you don't need that silica thing. Another person's going to push it up underneath there. So when the person's pushing it up underneath there, it's going to have to go like way up into their crotch because just the way that the thing's got to fit. You can lay it back down. So usually what I'll do is I'll grab like a towel or something to kind of pad up there, especially if it's a guy, just to kind of pad it up there. And also for cleanliness, but we do clean these very well between, so they're hygienic. So anyway, you got the patient. You don't have to show me so much, just show the machine. Mm-hmm. So you got the patient laying on the bed, or laying on the CPM. You are gonna plug the cord down here, you're gonna plug it into the bed and make sure the outlet works. If that's kind of one of the troubleshooting things, if you don't get it, if you can't turn it on, sometimes the outlet on the bed doesn't work. I think you guys have a bed that doesn't have good outlets. So anyway, plug it into the bed, which is, you guys know, it's usually underneath on the other side. And then once you get it on, I want you to zoom in here. It's about as obscure a place as you can get. This is the power button way in here. Make sure that this is kind of plugged all the way in, and then you're going to turn the power button on. And actually, usually it's on. And when you know it's on, that thing's going to light up there. So we're going to get them set, this machine set to the patient, and then we'll look at this later. Usually it's set okay, but we always want to double check and make sure. So the first thing, maybe you can come around this side and don't trip on the cord. But the first thing we want to look at is how this machine's set up. So here's her knee joint, and here's the where it's bending. So actually it's almost looks pretty good for her, but what we want to do is make sure that the machine is bending the same place as her knee is bending. So we want to push this up a little bit more. If most of the people that come in, this is where you adjust it here, and most of the people that come in, we have it adjusted on the lowest, like the shortest setting. If we wanted to raise it up, go ahead and lift your leg for me. Oops, it's falling off the edge of the bed. That's nice. So you just twist this one, and there's also an inside one that you twist. And what the weird thing is they twist in opposite directions. So you'll get the hang of it when you do it. And then, so if it's untwisted, if it's loosened, you want to just kind of stand back like this and lift it up. Okay? But for her, we're going to keep it all the way down. We're going to make sure it's up under there pretty good. So now you can look here again. It's almost up a little too far now. So you just want to make sure you're about even with where they're both bending. Okay? So we got that. Now, after we've got that one adjusted, we're going to adjust the lower leg. So you just want to look and see where the heel's fitting in here. So to adjust the lower portion, it's the same thing. You're going to twist this one this way and that one that way. See that? I'm untwisting them like that. And I don't know why they do that. So then you're just going to bring this up and down until the heel is flat up against that pad there. And you're going to tighten it up. And then when I put the CPM pads on, I kind of keep these loose just because if I want to pull the leg in or out, I can adjust it somewhat with the pad here. So after I get this situated, before I, if it's obviously, if their leg's really out, turning out to the side, you want to maybe turn this pad here, and you can adjust it. Sometimes it's loose, but you can adjust it with, here's two knobs, and then this is a knob here. So these two knobs will adjust the angle like this. You just basically want to put it in alignment with their body. And then this one will adjust that way. And then you want to stand back. This is kind of important. Maybe come over here where I am and look at the leg. you want to stand at the foot of the bed and just look at the way that their leg is aligned in there. If it's angled this way, or if it's angled this way, it's not going to be comfortable when their knee starts to bend. So you want to just make sure that it's really in line with their body. Okay, when you see that it's in line with their body, then what you can do, a lot of times their leg really likes to fall out like that. So what I would do is I'd try to prop it normal, and then I might take like a towel, roll it up, and stick it there to kind of keep their hip in neutral, because what it is their hip is just rotating out. So I'll do that, but then I'll also, let's tighten that. If I want to pull them more into neutral, I'll untie this one, or unfasten it, and then I'll try to like pull the ankle out so that it kind of keeps them more into a neutral position. Okay, so now that you've got everything tightened up, just kind of double check and make sure everything's tight. And then we're going to turn the unit on. So if you don't see a screen like this, look down here and make sure that it's turned on at the button that I showed you down in there. Okay, and then right there it says -2. So when we put the machine on them, we want them to go from 0 to 90 degrees. So if you hit, this is the flexion button, what they bend to, and it shows they're bending to 70. This is the extension button, and it shows that they're bending, it's set on 0. Right now, without pressing anything, it says -2, so it's 2 degrees into hyperextension. So not sure why it's there since the extension's only to 0. But we want to set it from, so actually this is good because we need to set it from 0 to 90. So you hold the flexion button down and then you just hit the up arrow till you get to 90. Hit the extension button down. Well, sorry, it's at 0. So it goes from 0 to 90. And then this, let's see, that button here is the speed. So I don't know why it says 0 seconds. What we're going to do is just turn it on. So this is the on-off button, the red button. So we're going to turn it on, and it's, you can just watch the machine. And I usually just watch them go through a couple cycles just to make sure that their leg looks okay if you want. Okay, so like I was saying before, we're just going to stand back and watch the knee go through a couple cycles to make sure that it looks good. And you can kind of look down here and just look from the end and make sure that everything looks good. And then we've got a strap here. Usually I will put this right above the knee. It's easier to get on there when the knee's bent also. So you just want to put it about right there. Just kind of so it keeps the knee in place somewhat. Okay. A couple more things with the control. So if you're, so this is on its way back down. It's set from 0 to 90. If I hit stop and then I hit start again, it's always going to go in the opposite direction. So it's going to go back up. So like if they're going up and they're like, oh, ow, that's hurting, then you hit stop. I mean, it's not going to hurt probably, but I'm thinking after their block wears off. Then when you hit it again, it'll go back down. It won't continue to go up. So it's on its way back down. And then another thing is the speed at which this goes. So if you hit stop and you hit this little button right here, it shows 120 degrees per minute. So that's how fast it's going up and down. And you can hit that if they want it to go faster or slower. There's really no target. I mean, 120 is about kind of what it's usually at, so we can leave it there. And then if anyone's curious about this thing here, hit it down and it says 0 seconds. That is the amount of time that it rests at the end range. So when it gets up to 90 degrees, if you have it set at 5 seconds, oh, I guess it's not going to do it. I don't know. But if it's set, it says 0 seconds. So it's not going to pause at all. It's not going to hold for a certain number of seconds. It's just going to go right back down. So we never change that. So we're going to hit start again. It's going up. Hit start again. Go back down. A couple other things to remember. The cart over there that we bring it on, that's got to go up to the patient's room on second floor, because that's what we store the CPM on when it's not on the patient, and that's what we have to bring it back downstairs on.